Story of two men talking at work, and one of them says to the other, "What's that you've got there?" And the other man said, "This is a thermos flask." And the other fellow said, what does that do? The man said, "Well, it's very, very clever. When you put something in cold, it stays cold, and when you put something in hot, it stays hot." And the fellow said, "That's fantastic. He said, I'm going to get one of them." So he goes out and buys one. The following week, he comes to work with his thermos flask, and his friend says to him, "I'm glad you bought one of those." He said, "What did you put in it?" He said, 2 cups of coffee and the chalk ice." We live in a crazy world, as we all know. Sometimes it's a happy place for many, and it's a sad place for many. As somebody once said to me many years ago, and it's very, very true, right now someone is receiving good news and someone is receiving bad news. Today's feast, Corpus Christi, the body and blood of Christ, is all about the spiritual food and drink that we are offered by Christ for our journey of life and our journey of faith. And in today's gospel, Jesus makes it very clear how important that gift and how important his body and blood is for our journey of life and our journey of faith. But there are other kinds of hunger and thirst as well. It's not just about food and drink. People hunger and thirst for love, for companionship, for good health, for being able to pay bills, for peace of mind, for being able to put the heating on, for sobriety, for a drug-free life, to be understood, to be forgiven. There are different hungers and thirsts for different people. At this present moment in time, we are getting used to a new way of living. And we hunger and thirst for some normality and maybe getting back to a little bit of what we used to have before. As a Catholic Christian people, we do this in memory of Jesus at every Mass. And we are then asked to go out into the big wide world and practice what we have learned in our churches and live it out by how we treat other people. But that's easier said than done, because we know that life isn't easy and people aren't always easy and we aren't always easy. The reality, in my opinion, is that we can only help certain people so much. Sometimes we have to say no for whatever reason. We are not the saviour of mankind. Learning to say no to someone doesn't mean that we don't care. It means that the solution doesn't always depend on me or you. I can't fix every problem, and neither can you. People have to take responsibility, personal responsibility for themselves. We can only do so much. And it may sound harsh, for it's a fact that we ultimately can't change another person. And we can only help someone who wants to help themselves, no matter how hard we try. We can only advise, point in the right direction, rely on our own experience to help others, but ultimately people have to find their own way in life, because that's their journey of life and their journey of faith. May we continue to do all we can to help others and recognise that sometimes all we have to offer may not be enough, but it's the best that we can do. And in God's eyes, that's just fine. And on a lighter note, I was in hospital recently and I asked my surgeon if I could administer my own anaesthetic. And he said, "Go for it, knock yourself out." God bless you all, stay safe, have a nice weekend, and hope to see you soon. Father Mike.